Thank you for joining me. I hope many aspects of your life are progressing. My name is Jason Elder, and this is Analyst Talk with Jason Elder. This is a special edition dedicated to the IACA election for Vice President of Administration. Today, running for re-election is Annie Mitchell. Annie, how are we doing?
I am doing great out here in California. It's pretty warm, but all is well. Everyone in my family is well, and I'm happy.
So can you give the listeners a quick bio about you, where you're from? You mentioned California. What's your current job title and any committees that you are overseeing right now?
Okay. So thank you so much, Jason. I think this is a great idea to bring in all the candidates so that the listeners, the members can hear us. So a little bit about me. I served for 43 years on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I started as a secretary, became a dispatcher, and then in 1987, I found this new field within the department called crime analysis. Had no idea what I was walking into, but I found that this was going to be my career, my vocation. Looked very different in 1987, but I love what I've seen, happening. Well, I worked in patrol, and then I worked as an intelligence analyst with our intelligence unit. I promoted to Supervising Crime Analyst in 2007 and became the training coordinator for the crime analysis program with over 60 crime analysts. They're now at 80, but I was at 60 at the time. So currently, I have what I call my encore career. I am a provider with the Bureau of Justice Assistance and the National Training and Technical Assistance Center for Crime Analysis on Demand, a fabulous program for agencies that just want assistance, putting together a unit, training, and I love doing that. And then around May, I got a phone call from the Institute of Intergovernmental Research asking me to be the SME for the Crime Analysis Community of Practice for the Public Safety Partnership Agencies. And I'm loving every minute of it. I really enjoy it.
Annie, what's SME?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a subject matter expert.
Okay. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to assume.
Yeah.
I cut you off there. I'm sorry.
No,
were you finished with your
Yeah.
answer?
Yeah.
And then obviously you're running for re-election, so you're VP of admin. So what have you been doing now?
Well, this is a difficult year, right? And I can tell you that I love a challenge, and we are trying to make things better for the members by giving more training out there. And what we have found, we were not able to do the conference this year, but our training committee and our training director, Kyle Stoker, can't say enough about him, had an idea where we would provide free webinars with some of the people that put in for presentations, and they have been extremely well received.
Why are you running for re-election for Vice President of Administration?
Here's the reason. So based on my tenure within the field and our association, I'm pretty confident that I have a very firm grasp of our field and our organization. And watching crime analysis, technology, and the IACA grow from the humble beginnings, it's given me a very solid perspective of the industry needs and how to best serve our members. So through my relationships with a number of agencies throughout the US and internationally, I have what I feel is a great deal of insight on a number of subjects that impact our field today. And I want to continue to build partnerships with federal training agencies, some being IADLS, BJA, NTAC, as well as the IACP. I think that working on these levels, we're leveraging what the IACA is, the huge membership that we have, and I think it would help bring crime analysis into the forefront of policing in general.
What experience or training do you have that makes you qualified for this position?
Well, this is kind of an interesting question because I can tell you in my career as a crime analyst, I always belonged to the California Crime and Intelligence Analysts Association as well as the IACA, but I really never saw myself getting this involved. So it was in 2011, the president of the Southern California chapter of the CCIAA was leaving, and he was looking for someone to take his place. No one wanted to run for president. And you know what? I said, why not? And I will tell you that that experience brought me to where I am today. I really enjoyed being in that role and then talking to more analysts, because every agency is different the way they look. You know, we tend to, especially from a large agency, think, oh, everybody does it like, you know, like us. Well, they don't. And I realized how much the associations really help an analyst in a number of ways. So, you know, I just firmly believe to serve on an executive board, you need a very strong crime and intelligence analysis background, working in the field and understanding the current needs of the members. And, you know, based on my training and the multiple assignments I worked and what I continue to do today, I just feel that I'm very qualified to do this.
As a board member, how would you increase membership participation and involvement in the IACA? How would you gain the confidence of the membership?
So this is a very good question, and I'm actually very glad you asked the question, because you know, you don't really know. I mean, when you're just a member of the IACA, you don't see everything that's in the background, you know, what the board goes through, all the different people that we're dealing with on a regular basis. And I will tell you that during my last 3 years as a board member, we have been working on putting processes into place that allows for more opportunities for members to work on a committee. One of the things I said coming in was, I remember wanting to be on a committee, and there was nothing available. There was nothing that ever was pushed out from the IACA, like, hey, we're creating a new committee. Could you please send us your bio, and, you know, we'll consider you, and those kind of things. And we have done that over the last 3 years, and we currently have lists of people that have shown a desire and to be on a committee. And, you know, so we've been doing a number of those. We've created new committees. We've bumped up the membership on some of the committees, the international being one of them. And we just had a board call today, and we have a lot of international members, so we're working on that. So I just think that's very, very important, to get more people involved that want to be involved and be more transparent. The IC needs to be more transparent. The other thing we want to push out is, you know, more surveys. Like, what do you think, you know, what is something that you desire from the IACA? It's not that we can do everything. You know, we have limited resources. But yeah, it's all about the 4,000 plus members. It's not about the board.
Speaking of resources, the
Okay.
membership dues are $25 a year, which have never gone up since the beginning. So taking into consideration inflation from 1990, the dues would be $50. Do you think the membership dues should increase? If so, why should it increase, and by how much? If not, why should it stay the same?
I was really glad you asked this question, because it's something that, I'll be very honest with you, we don't even bring it up as a board. And I was on a previous board, and I will tell you, I will give credit to Christopher Bruce, because he was the one who set those dues back in the early 90s when we first started. And whenever it would come up, if that topic ever came up at a board meeting, he said, I think it's very important to stay where we're at. It says something about our association. So as a board, I don't think fiscally we don't need it. We don't need that. Our training really is our big revenue source right now. And I don't see what that would do for the members. And here's the other thing I really like about it is, I speak with a number of agencies, both in the US and internationally. And I'm not always talking to analysts. I'm talking with executives. And one of the things I say to them is, if your analyst does not belong to the IACA, they are missing out, and you are missing out, because I became a better analyst because of all the people that I had to reach out to, all those resources. And so, and then I say to them, it's only $25. And actually, sir or ma'am, you should join the association. Well, when you say that $25 amount, they don't balk it at one bit. Oh, sure, we'll sign our analyst up. I don't know. There's something about that low number that makes it look like we are really in it for the members, not in it for anything else but that.
How do you think the IACA training and certification should be promoted? What new ideas do you have?
Okay. That's an interesting one, especially with CLIA. One of the things about CLIA that we just did, this came from Rachel Carson, our international board member, and she oversees that committee. And they are doing some things that I think are kind of innovative with this. They're translating a lot more of the CLIA test into a number of different languages so that other countries will be able to take it. They are working on a marketing tool with getting people out there with CLIA. And they have designed lapel pins that you will be given once you get your certificate, that they can wear, which we kind of like that. So, and training to me is the absolute number one essential need for our members. You got to remember, I started in 1987 and we didn't have the type of things we have now. We didn't have much training. And without what I, walked into with the IACA, would never have been able to do my job or continue to do my job as as the years went on. And I was just approached by a company just this week who made a statement to me and said how impressed they were with the IACA's training program. Said, you are providing so much training for your members, keeping up with technology and the needs of the analysts, not to mention you do it all with volunteers. And I thank all of those volunteers out there that do that. I couldn't agree more with that statement. It was just nice hearing it. It come from an outside source. And the other thing I love about the training is in the contract work that I'm doing right now, I refer analysts who need help on any kind of application or process I can send them to a recorded IACA webinar for, $10 as a training source. So I look at it as we are 4,000 strong and growing. So many minds that are a sea of information, and we are better together. And one of my goals is to get this message of our training and certification program to the International Chiefs of Police Association, as well as a large number of executive professional association. And the board has been looking for a vehicle for outreach on this level.
So historically, as you know, the VP of Admin oversees the conference committee. What do you want to see for next year's conference? And what if we cannot meet next year for next year's conference, again, due to COVID?
Well, this has been a hot topic for probably the last 6 months. I will tell you, in March or April, there were a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is all going to be over in a couple of weeks," and so we've seen different, right? But I will tell you something, and this speaks to me personally. I do love a challenge. I like being handed a problem that seems insurmountable. And it keeps me going. It keeps that brain really moving. And so working through this, I look at it as an opportunity for something new. And I tend to like change. That's part of what I bring to the table as a VP of admin. I will tell you, my fellow board member said, Annie's the one who's always coming up with the ideas. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just me. So I can tell you that we've been working on how is this going to look in 2021? And one of the things that is driving us is these webinars that we've been doing instead of the conference. And what we found is the average amount of attendees is over 500 people. And so what that made me realize is, and we've always realized it, but because we got such a good turnout at the conferences, it's really an extremely small percentage of our membership, because some analysts may never be able to attend. So now we have to look at this as there's a few ways we could go. We could do because next year those budgets are not going to be in place to send the amount that we normally have. We know that. So maybe it's half, maybe 200 people may make it. And maybe we make it only a 3-day conference, or maybe we make it, a full conference, but we reduce the tuition. So more people might be able to attend. But with that, there's going to have to be a part of it that is made virtual, that people will have an ability in other countries to watch certain. We will not be able to do that with every single presentation. That's just financially, I don't think we can go there. We've looked into it, and it's doable, but it's also very, very expensive. So I don't know if we're going to have the resources for that. And we're also looking at those webinars that we've been giving, and this will apply to the conference, where if you watched a recording of a presentation, we're working on subtitles instead of an actual interpreter that would be in different languages, where someone from, Iceland, they would have a drop down menu that said, now I want to see this in Icelandic. So those are the kind of things that we're working on right now. And I look at it as a plus. I mean, I think we're going to reach more people that are going to benefit from some sort of a conference in some way, shape, or form.
What would winning the VP of Admin re-election mean to you?
Well, I can tell you my last 3 years of service to the members has been extremely rewarding. I take this very seriously, and I feel the executive board should always be looking for ways to empower our members with the tools and partnerships that are essential to our profession. And in my election bid, I listed the goals that I have yet to accomplish, and it's important for me to be able to finish the race. So I recently formed a new regional associations committee, which will work to assist not only associations within the states, but internationally. And they'll also provide assistance with building a new association, the structure, bylaws, training, best practices. And they're going to also assist in the memberships, because they send group memberships to the IACA. And we've had a few little glitches and problems with that. So everything would be filtered through that committee. Also, another goal of mine is looking at how we do our training conference and the international symposium, what it looks like in the future of the pandemic. I think it'd be difficult to walk into this cold and never having worked with the conference or the symposium. So I have some new ideas that I feel, I kind of talked about some of them, that will work better for the majority of our members. And you know what? After all these years, I remain very passionate about our profession in the IACA, and I want to be a part of making what seems impossible possible.
Do you have any last words for our listeners, or even maybe a campaign slogan?
You kind of stumped me on this one. You did, but you really made me think, Jason. Seriously, I like the campaign slogan idea. But my final words are, we are all better together. And now more than ever, we need to support one another, our agencies and the communities we serve. Through the help of 4,000 plus strong, we'll get through this better, not bitter. And so what I'd like to leave everyone with is what I would go with for a campaign slogan would be, today's challenges, tomorrow's inspirations.
Right. Well, very good, Annie. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you the best of luck in the election, and you be safe.
Thank you so much, Jason. The same to you. And I've told you this before. I love what you're doing with these podcasts. They're awesome.
Thank you for joining us today on Analyst Talk with Jason Elder. We hope you not only enjoyed the show, but also learned something new. For more information on our guests and information relating to today's topic, please visit our website at leapodcast.com. Special thanks to the Rough and Tumble for our theme song. For more of their music, you can visit their website at theroughandtumble.com. Also thanks to Kyle McMullen for our show logo. For more of his design, please visit his website at moderntype.com. The show is hosted, recorded, and edited by Jason Elder and written by me, Mindy. You can contact us both via the LEA podcast website. Please join us again next time as we interview another expert in this great field.